So my name is Donna Shevlin, and I am the CEO and founder of Pastries for Pets Incorporated, which is a dog treat manufacturing company that supplies a lot of dog bakeries with their icing products, their frosting products, food colors, all sorts of great stuff, so that they can decorate beautiful dog treats. And today what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate how to do a wheat-free dog treat without any flavoring to it. So there's no peanut butter, there's no pumpkin, there's no nothing. It's literally just a couple of flowers, and the only flavoring really is the eggs and the honey. So this way, if any of you have peanut allergies or anything like that, you're gonna be just fine alongside with your dog treat recipe. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Oh, I see Pam. Hi, Pam. I'm so excited you're joining us. Please let me know if you can hear me okay. I'm glad to see that my comments are working so that you can ask me anything you want. And it is kind of nice to see you. I'm glad you were joining me. I did this so out of the box as well. I just put it out there yesterday that I was going to do this, so I'm glad you're here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add oat flour and rice flour to our mixing bowl. And I already pre-measured these, and I'll tell you the measurements. That I did 1/2 cup of oat flour and 1/2 cup of rice flour. So that's what I'm putting in the mixer. I'm just doing it on a little bit of a nicer side so that I don't make a huge mess while I do this. So this way you can see what I'm doing better. And now I'm going to add 3 large eggs, and the eggs I already put into my small bowl. I already cracked them. Trying to save a little bit of time so that you're not staring at me cracking eggs. So that was 3 large eggs, and this is 1/4 cup honey. So I'm putting that right in there. I already pre-measured that, so it's easy enough just to pre-measure things and add them as you need them. This is 1/4 cup of olive oil. You can use the liquid form of coconut oil. You can also use canola oil, whatever oil that you prefer. And then I'm going to add 1/2 cup of water. So that's it. There's simple ingredients. I'm going to let this mix for a while. It takes a little bit to mix. And it will be a little bit loud, so I will raise my own volume of my voice for all of you. But I'm going to go ahead and let that mix up, and then I'm going to come over here and let you know what I'm going to be creating today. So today I am going to do almost like a little birthday theme. I have my dog's birthday is coming up in March, the end of March. And I also have a friend of mine's dog coming up in, I think, April 2nd, and that dog's name is Harry. So we have 2 people, and thank you, Pam. I just saw your message that you can hear me. That's really awesome. So what I chose for the birthdays is I took the, just some birthday cookie cutters. I have a cupcake. I have a birthday hat. I grabbed a bone to do so I can write happy birthday on it. I have a birthday candle, a couple of dogs. I know Harry is a German Shepherd, so I grabbed one of those. And we got a little dog's bum because those are always so cute nowadays. And I got a paw print, of course. So this way I have a little bit of a selection when it comes to decorating. And I'm going to check out my mixing going on over here. We're still going. I'm going to actually pick it up a little bit, move it along for all of us. And I am going to grab a spoon because I did forget to grab one. Because sometimes when you're mixing in your stand mixer, the dough will kind of form on the sides. You just want to push it along so that it gets mixed very well. This is actually the first time I've ever done a live where I'm mixing from start to finish, so that's pretty cool. And it's nice because it shows you how long it actually takes, because when you're at home, you can have a recipe in front of you and it looks super simple, and then you go to make it, and right now if I look at it, I know that it's not mixed well enough, but you might think, oh my goodness, it's because I didn't add enough water, and you might put in an extra water at this point, and then what that would do is it would actually make your recipe a little bit too sticky. So it sounds like it's actually doing pretty good in here, so I'm going to give it a little peek. Yeah, we're mixing right along, and I'm going to just grab a spoon. I have one back here. And it's doing really well. And I'll have the dough ready for you in a second, actually, because it's done. I don't even need my spoon, which is really cool. So just to let all of you know, I used a dough hook, okay? And that is very important. So the dough hook, you definitely want to use the dough hook because it actually grabs all of your ingredients together. If you accidentally use a, you know, like another attachment, it's not going to come out the same. And then you're always going to wonder that, by the way, this dough works beautiful. There's like nothing left in the bowl. So what's really cool is you want to make sure that you do it until it actually forms the dough before you add anything else to it, because it could just be perfect the way it is. Now, if I were to use a non-dough hook, it would kind of keep it crumbly. And that's one of the errors that a lot of people do make because they forget to add the dough hook. So, you know, make sure you add the dough hook. Or if you're moving right along, you might realize that something just isn't right with your dough. And you're like, wait, when Donna did it, it turned out beautiful. What's going on with my dough, right? So basically, it could just be because you accidentally didn't use a dough hook. It could be that simple. Or maybe you didn't wait long enough for the dough to form and you're adding more water and all of a sudden you're like, this just isn't right. It could happen, okay? So all these little tips. Now the reason why I do dough that's kind of on the firm side, not so sticky, is because I like to roll it out without using flour. Now, we're always trained to use flour, and then it kind of sticks to your dough, and that can look like mold when you're done. So you really want to make sure that you know, you don't have any residual of flour after your treats are done. And I know most of you who have done this before know exactly what I'm talking about. One thing you can do is you can take your finger and stick it in some water and just try to brush off any flour if you have it, okay? But normally you can just do what I'm doing. I'm just flipping it over. I'm taking a rolling pin and I'm just rolling the dough out. And it's not sticking to the rolling pin. It's not even sticking really. I use parchment paper a lot just because it's an easy cleanup. I don't have to have dough stuck on my counter, all of that, okay? So this is a really beautiful dough, and I'm going to give you the recipe again. And after we're done, I will try to add it into the comments because, like I said, this is my first live, and I don't know if I could have already added it into the comments before I started. But I'm going to go ahead and give you the recipe again. And the recipe is 1.5 cups oat flour, 1.5 cups rice flour, 3 large eggs, 1/4 cup oil. It can be canola, it could be olive oil, it could be a liquefied coconut oil, whatever works best for your recipe is fine. And then I did 1/4 cup honey and 1/2 cup water. So, and then you want to do, you want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. what I find for my temperature and my timing is if I do like 8 minutes and then I flip my treats over and I bake them for another 8 minutes. And the reason why I do that is because I don't want them to look burnt, okay? And that's my own personal preference. And that's pretty much it. So it's a very easy recipe, and you see how beautiful the dough is, so why not, right? So now I'm gonna go ahead and cut out some bones here so I can show you. And if you wiggle your cookie cutter a little bit, it kind of separates the dough from the bone a little easier. And then I'm just gonna take the bones and I'm gonna put them on my cookie sheet. And I have a habit of putting parchment paper on my cookie sheets too. You don't have to do that. It's my personal preference, and it's simply because it's an easier cleanup at the end. So you certainly don't need to do any of the parchment paper. I do it just because I enjoy an easier cleanup, if that makes any sense. So if anyone else has joined us besides Pam, feel free to say hello. If you have any questions, you can ask them in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. And these are little cupcakes that I've done, so you can see those. And these are kind of a cool little cookie cutter because it gives me the imprints. So when I go to decorate these, I can leave the bottom of the cupcake this color, and then I could just do the lines any color I want, and it'll look like a cupcake wrapper, which is really kind of cool. And then I'm gonna do some party hats. And these are always fun to do too. And as I go, I just keep collecting my dough and adding more to it. Like I said, this is a very nice dough today and every day, but it's nice to work with because it's not as sticky as some doughs can be. It is wheat-free, so if your dog has any allergies, you'll be all set there. I will mention the rolling pin. You can see I have these green things on the ends of them. Those come off, and it's so that when I roll out my dough, it'll keep it all one thickness. So as soon as I'm done rolling my dough, the green little plastic dividers will reach the countertop. And I won't be able to roll my dough any thinner because that's what it prevents. But it's really nice because it keeps everything all one thickness. And you look like a professional, which is really cool. So it looks like you guys really don't have any questions. So I am gonna wrap this up a little bit. But because it's working, I'll definitely have to come back and do more for all of you with some decorating and some other recipes that we can do together as we bake. We could do cakes, we could do cupcakes. In the comments, you can let me know maybe what you would be interested in me doing for you, because I could do pretty much whatever you'd like. This is, you know, great instructional tools for you. And I love to help you guys out. So basically, I'm going to peel these off and wrap it up for you because I don't have any questions, which is fine. And I'm going to bake these, and tomorrow I'll decorate them. And in a few weeks, I think I'm going to schedule it so that one day I come on here and I bake, and the next day I come on here and decorate. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? So I hope this helped you all out. I will see you probably next week or so, and we'll do another live now that we know that we seem to make them work out fine. So happy baking, everyone. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I will come back on and check for additional questions, and I hope you enjoyed our recipe. So go spoil some dogs, and we'll see you soon.